Hi there and welcome back to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial where today I am going to be teaching you Algebra 1. And in this video we're going to look at exercise number 2 in chapter 8 where we're going to be factoring a difference of perfect squares. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean in exercise number 2 it says using the pattern we found in exercise number 1, factor the following polynomials. So what I mean by factoring a difference of perfect squares is we always want to check and see what we're factoring. Is it a difference of two perfect squares? So ask yourself, is x squared a perfect square? The answer is yes, because x times x is x squared. And is 1 a perfect square? And the answer is yes again, because 1 times 1 is 1. Now finally, is this a difference? And difference means to subtract. So are we subtracting? And the answer is yes again. So we do have a difference of two perfect squares. If we know that, we can open up our two sets of parentheses. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the square root of x squared in the front of each parenthesis, and the square root of 1, which is 1, in the back of each parenthesis. And we're just going to separate these with a plus and a minus. And that's factored right there. Another way you could have looked at it is that this is actually x squared plus 0x minus 1, and using your factoring rules from the last lesson, you could say what two numbers multiply to negative 1 and add to 0, because there's no x term, so that's 0 for your x term. So what two numbers will multiply to negative 1 and add to 0? Well, 1 and negative 1, because 1 minus 1 will add to 0, and 1 times negative 1 will be negative 1. So whichever way is easier for you is the way you should use. So taking a look at part B, we have x squared minus 9. Is this a difference of two perfect squares? And the answer again is yes. Because the square root of x squared is x times x is x squared, and what times what will give you 9? The answer is 3. Now, is it a difference? It is a difference. So now we're just going to do plus minus and be on our way. We go to the next one where it says x squared minus 81. Is this a difference? Yes. Of two perfect squares? Yes. Because the square root of x squared, once again, is x. And what's the square root of 81? The square root of 81 is 9. So we put a plus and a minus. And there we go. X plus 9, x minus 9 is factored completely. Let's go to part D where it says x squared minus 64. And to factor this one, once again, do we have a difference? Yes. Of two perfect squares? Yes. So x and x. 8 times 8 is 64. And we separate these with a plus and a minus. And if you want, you are definitely allowed to do a minus then a plus, because this would just be the same thing, but the commutative property of multiplication. Now we go to x squared minus 400, a little bit trickier, but we could still do this one. Is this a difference? Yes. Of two perfect squares? And the answer is yes. So x times x will give you x squared. What times what will give you 400? Think. 20. 20 times 20 will be 400. So we're going to do a plus and minus or a minus plus, doesn't matter. And finally, our last one is x squared minus 144. So is this a difference? Yes. Of two perfect squares? Yes. So again, we're going to open up two sets of parentheses. X times x gives you x squared. What times what will give you 144? And the answer is 12. 12 times 12 will give you 144. Separate those with a plus and minus. And we have just done 6 exercises in this part that we use the pattern we found in that exercise number 1 to factor the polynomials right here. All of these happen to be difference of two perfect squares. Okay? So if this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And you're now ready to go on to exercise number 3. Thank you for watching.